Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video. We are doing the shorter Q's and A's. Let me know what you think down below and leave other questions for me to answer in short little videos like this as well. If you have been vegan for any length of time, someone has come up to you and they have said, "What about soy? I thought soy was terrible for me and it'll give me man boobs." Isn't it interesting how people interpret science and then apply it to their own lives? Thanks, bloggers. Okay, so soy contains isoflavones, which is a type of plant slash phyto slash xenoestrogen, whatever you want to call it. It's an estrogen-like compound that is found in plants. I'm just going to call them phytoestrogens, okay? So phytoestrogens are capable of occupying our mammalian estrogen receptor sites, but that phytoestrogen does not stimulate the receptor site. So it goes into the receptor, but it doesn't cause anything to happen. Whereas if a mammalian estrogen went into that receptor site, it would be stimulated and there would be a hormonal reaction. But like I said, phytoestrogens, plant estrogens, can't do that. So they go into the receptor, they just hang out there for a while, they don't do anything. And what that does is it blocks that receptor site so that it cannot be occupied or stimulated by a mammalian estrogen that, is just floating around in the bloodstream before it gets snagged by the liver and flushed out through your poop. That might sound like a terrible thing. You'd be like, Lily, what the hey? I need my receptor sites to be stimulated by the right estrogens. But actually, you really don't all that much, and the more that your receptor sites are stimulated by mammalian estrogens, the more prone you are to things like breast cancer and ovarian cancer and other hormonal issues. So the phytoestrogens in plants are actually doing a real service to our bodies as far as hormonal health goes and cancer protection goes, because that's what large-scale, long-term epidemiological studies show, is that the women who consume the most soy foods are the women who have the lowest rates of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and other hormonally sensitive cancers. And it appears that the most important time to be consuming those foods for their protective effect is in adolescence. Although I suppose any time is a great time to be protected from cancer. Studies on women who already have hormonally sensitive cancers have also shown that those who consumed the most soy foods had the longest survival rates. I think one of the big problems, however, is that when people hear the word soy, especially like Americans and other people in the Western world, they think of foods that contain high levels of very processed soy, like soy milk or meat replacers. They're not thinking about whole plant food products. And in fact, the studies that showed that soy could be harmful or promote cancer, cause breast cancer, or mess with your hormones were studies on rats, to begin with, that were severely overfed on isolated soy proteins. And so eventually the rats did develop problems, as any organism being fed a highly inappropriate concentrated diet would. The thing about soy is that whole soy is more protective. Whole soy is healthier because the isolated soy protein actually causes an increase in insulin-like growth factor similar to that of dairy milk. And so if you're eating foods that contain high amounts of isolated soy proteins or isolated proteins of any kind, you're going to end up having issues with your growth hormones. So as with any other food, what's important is to opt for the whole food. Opt for as whole a soy product as possible. So whole soybeans, great option. Tempeh, you can actually see the whole soybean in the tempeh. Sounds like a good option to me. Now, tofu and soy milk, they are more processed, and in tofu you end up losing a lot of the goodness, like the fiber and many of the vitamins and minerals from the actual soybean. They don't make it into the tofu. However, soybeans, beans in general, are so healthy that you still end up with a very healthy food product in the tofu. So if you love tofu and it's an important part of your diet and it just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy and excited inside, then by all means, enjoy some tofu from time to time. Soy milk, obviously there are tons of options for plant milks. all of them are a little bit processed. It is better if you can make your own at home, but I don't do that, and I understand that many people are never going to do that. So if having plant milks in your life makes a huge difference to you, if you add a little bit to your coffee, if you add it to your soaked oats or whatever else you love, don't stress too much about it. Just enjoy it. It's still much healthier for you than dairy milk from cows. But like I said, whole plant foods always win when it comes to health. So stick to whole food sources as much as possible. However, as great as whole soy is, it's pretty much on par with like every other bean. It's not all that special. It's just that soybean manufacturers have been able to fund some extra studies about soy, and that's why it got the reputation that it did as being a health food. So I have to say, don't bother going out of your way to force yourself to eat soy products if you don't like them. Any legume would be great. The other issue for a lot of people are genetically modified organisms. The most common GMO in the world is soy, Roundup Ready soy from Monsanto, and most of that soy goes to animal feed. Not a lot of it is for human consumption. So if you are buying soy products for human consumption, it's probably not GMO, but you can guarantee that it's not GMO and thus doesn't have huge, ridiculous levels of pesticides on it. If you buy non-GMO verified soy products, a lot of them have a little sticker on the label that say that, or organic, because organic cannot be GMO. All right, I hope that answered your questions about soy. Absolutely. Whole plant foods, whole soybeans, definitely a health food. Processed soy products, not as great, but still okay. Isolated soy proteins, just avoid isolated proteins at all costs. Say no to protein powders. You don't need them. They're just a waste of money. Questions, comments go down below. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, make better choices for yourselves. Take really, really good care. I will see you all sooner than you may think. Bye.